Hey man, how are you doing? So yeah, this is the your model we got here, and we're gonna take a look at it now. I really like it as far as the overall shape goes. It's pretty good, and well, there are some points that we can tackle if we go to the closer detail. So let's go to the low resolution preview. And first things first. So when I import the model, it comes like this. As you can see from my grid, I don't know how you do with your grids, but this grid for me means each of these black. Let me change the viewport color. Each of these black squares represents 1 square meter, which means this model is pretty tiny. Um, I would always try and keep models up to a real world scale. So if you would suppose this model to be a real human, I would scale it up to at least whatever you want to this be. So if we make a distance tool to check out what's going on here, see 180. So this means 180 centimeters. Uh, Now she's like 178 tall plus the high heel stuff that's going on here. Might be alright, maybe not. I don't know, but still it is. Um, so just you know, I scaled the model up by 8.434 to get it to a more realistic scale. So this is how I work. Also, you can see that my grid layout, which means like I have um, a 1 meter by 1 meter distributional edge, and then each of the small edges is 10 centimeters. So because that's like the normal stuff you do, if you want to go into a micro scale, you just adjust the grid settings, like, I don't know. So here you can see length and width is 200 units, which means 200 units in each direction, so 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters. The grid lines then every 1 meter, which means 100, and then 10 subdivisions per grid line, and the colors. So if you want to work in a micro scale, then I don't know, maybe just 2 centimeters, and then grid lines every 1 centimeter, and subdivision still 10. So if you do that, you're gonna get, let's just zoom into this, you're gonna get something like that, where these are 1 centimeter and you get here 1 millimeter, and you can model a watch with stuff like this. Maybe you want to go even closer for a watch, but so if you want to model like a real clockwork technical stuff going on. So let's put this back. Just a point on that modeling stuff in real world scale is better. Also because then the Maya dynamics, if you ever want to apply like a cloth simulation or dynamic skin or hair, stuff like that, or also lighting, special lighting techniques require real world scale model sizes in order to work physically correct. That goes for everything in Maya that uses some sort of real world units to create the resulting whatever result. So that's a point on that. So now let's get into the model. And yeah, as I mentioned out, it's quite good. I like the shape. I like that it's not too exaggerated like all the stuff I've seen. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing I've noticed, like by swiping around on this stuff, a lot of triangles, like really a lot. You got on the lower side of the feet, you got like strange stuff going on here. So these are not triangles, but they could be cancelled out better because the opposite from triangles, or not the opposite, but like another stuff that's going on besides triangles is a lots of valence 5 poles, or 5 plus, I mean. So stuff like this. If you've got one point with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges going in, not good. You don't want that. Problem here is because that's going to make weird looking deformation in special cases. It might not be a big deal on this area, like on the lower side of the foot, which you will probably never see. But there may be some other areas that I'm going to show later where this might be a problem. So this is something you want to keep in mind. Let's just show you how you could solve these problems a little bit better. So you could, let's first of all delete all of these edges. And maybe these as well. And yeah, let's keep it like that. So you've got here 2 coming in, and you got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, 6. 5, 6, that's alright. So it's an even number, which means we can cancel it. If it were to be an uneven number, we were fucked. Especially in a place like the foot, you would like have to stick with a triangle unless we find another one somewhere around here where we can cancel this out, because you can only cancel a triangle with another triangle. And the easiest way to do that is if you find a single triangle and you're like close to the edge of symmetry, which is the center edge of the model. You can, just cancel it out with the mirror side triangle. But on stuff like on the foot, the mirror side part of this would be there, so we would have to cancel it out all the way up the leg, over the butt, and then back down the leg. So not good. But yeah, there's an even number of edges here, so it means we can work with it. Why the fuck is let's put this back to the default. So then one thing, you might want to add another edge cross down here, so we can work a little bit better with this stuff. But anyway, let's go into the split polygon tool. You are probably not seeing my like hotbox menu, because for some reason my graphics card doesn't support this on the screen recorder, or the screen recorder doesn't support this because no, I don't know. But anyway, okay, so why are we doing this like this now? Is because you want to prevent inner edge angles with more than 180 degrees, and you were close to getting that here, so we want to not do that. It might be even better if you add one here, because then we can close this a little bit closer so this angle doesn't get too much, but that's not really a big deal. So what you could do here is just drive the edges. Let's take this one, put it up here, and then cancel out to there. Now take this one, do the same stuff. Now we got 2 triangles here, let's keep them there. And let's go on with these guys. You can do the same thing as we did down there. We got now 2 triangles, we can just close them up like this. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 4-siders. And now these guys can just do that. Now we got a similar situation which we got here, but with more edges. And if we had an extra edge coming this way, this would look a little bit cleaner. So something you may want to do. Again, you've got here a triangle. Again, triangles are not bad. You just want to avoid them because not much for technical reasons anymore these days, but more for like, cleanliness thingy reasons. So if your model is full quads, it's like, man, I've modeled a full quad model, I know how to model. So it's just about that. Also, like presentation and stuff like that. So if you have a full quad model and its wireframe looks like really sexy, you can show it in your reel, and it'll make a good point for you. So, and if your model is like full of triangles, full of edge shearing and stuff like that, probably shows that you still do not have too much of an idea of how to model, and that's maybe not gonna be a good favor for you, showing this on a reel or stuff like that. So that's the point of that. Let's keep going. So another thing, I noticed this entire model has like 6.2K, which is alright. I don't know, you didn't mention if you wanted to put this into a game engine or not, because that decision will make a big point in how like design the model's topology. So from what I'm seeing here, it looks like you don't want to put it in a game engine, so I'll just keep, and also because I'm working in film rather than games, I will just keep going as if this were a model for film. So let's keep doing that. In this case, the resolution is quite low for it. So what you could do is bump it up. Of course, after you did the main topology and edge stuff fixes, otherwise it would be a pain in the arse. So you do all your beauty stuff on the low res, and then you can bump it up for good deformations on the animation rig. I'll show you now how I do that. So because I as well model like at this resolution, like 6, 7, 8K, not more. And when I'm done, or not really when I'm done, but to get a preview, let's do that quickly. We're gonna create, I don't know, whatever polygon we might want. Let's create a plane. And or yeah, it doesn't really matter, because I'm going to show you now a nice little trick on how to have both models active. And then another trick, but that's like a little bit more messing around with my stuff, and I don't know. If you don't know what you're doing, probably not worth trying out stuff. So we're gonna get both of these model shapes into the node editor. So we've got our model shape and our whatever else shape, polygon shape. And now you can connect the, come on, be faster. Oh, how do I get out of this? Okay. Don't want to go to the points. What is it? I did it again, fuck. Mine always just gets stuck at that point. Why does it do that? I get it. Okay, let's take the word mesh, connect it to the mesh, and I can see it's a tiny copy down here, because this guy still has transform. So if you freeze them, you can see our other mesh bumped up to be the real size, because now the transformation matrix matches our two transform nodes above the shapes. You can, if you do not understand too much of this, you might also just do not listen, because it's not really necessary. The only thing I did now is I created a second object that is exactly what our first mesh is doing. So let's delete this history of this guy to make it clean. So what I mean by that is, if I were to, let's hide this guy first. If I were to take some polygons here, and move them around, and let's unhide this guy, it gets the same deformation. So it's like a live connection, like if you apply a blend shape and turn on the target all the time. So let's undo these changes. And what you can do now with this is, if we had this and unhide this, it's the same model. Let's apply the same shader. You can now do some stuff with this guy, and the first history input will still be kept live, so we can smooth this, work on this in low poly, and then still see this in high poly if we unhide him. some similar to the turbo smooth in 3ds Max, I guess. So let's do that. What I do for smoothing is I like the smooth preview. I don't like to go to the where is it, to the mesh smooth, because then you have to like figure out good settings, because all of these stuff do different things, and it might not look like in the smooth preview at the end. So what I do here is I work with the smooth preview, as in, let's hit Control A to go to the attribute editor, go to the shape of the object, and under the smooth mesh tab, subdivision levels, you can reduce the preview division levels. So let's put it to 1, because I usually subdivide them just once for the animation rig. So it goes to 1. Didn't change too much this stuff. You can see a few things moving, but not too much. So let's keep it at 1. And now we can go to the modify, convert polygon smooth mesh preview to polygons, which basically bakes down the smooth mesh edges into real edges. Bam. And now you get an edge for each of these. And now this model looks like a lot better. Also because this smoothing algorithm will kill all of your triangles. So you see we had some triangles here on the feet. They're now gone. These are now our beautiful quads. So this is like a way how you can do that stuff. And now let's go to this model and let's apply the default Lambert and make it transparent. Let's make it even more transparent, like that. And now if you work on this and do some fixes, you can see our high-res version updates automatically. This is cool. Especially for later, for just seeing how the high-res edge resolution is going to look like. But I usually tend to do this more towards the end of the modeling process, because it's more of a time waste at the beginning. So let's keep this guy where it was. And let's just work with this. This was just to show you how you can go into the smooth mesh preview like I just showed you. And I wanted to show you another method on how to use this. So if I were to get to the 1, to the 3 key to make this smooth, reduce the subdivision levels to 1, and do the same stuff here. Smooth mesh preview to polygons. Probably don't want to see this, because this is now subdivided one more time, because the base mesh has been subdivided now. So this guy got 100k edges. It's too much. We don't want to see that. So now what the smooth will do is it will create a base shape. Here it is. And let's go to the object display. It'll create an intermediate object. It'll make it an intermediate object, which means this is like an internal shape that makes the base model as it was before the smooth. So if we turn off intermediate object, you can see we get like a low polygon cage. If I reclose and open this, you can see now there are 2 shapes in here. So we could, keep modeling with this shape. The intermediate objects do not have shaders, so if we convert them back, they still remove their shaders. So you could do all of your modeling on this intermediate shape and then put it back as intermediate. You just want to keep in mind the history, so this might not be a very good way to do this. So let's put this shape back to intermediate. Alright, and let's remove this guy. We have it in another place. Alright, so let's get back to the feedback. Solution smooth, lots of I did this. I have noticed that your model is not symmetrical in topology, on the face especially. I'm gonna go to this later, but maybe just ask why is the model not symmetrical. like it looks like it's symmetrical on the body, but the face is not. I would do the face symmetrical too. Maybe you just weren't quite finished with this, which you probably weren't, because otherwise you wouldn't have sent it to me. Okay, let's keep going. We were done at the feet. One extra point is the toe resolution. You've got just one edge going on here. So if you do a toe bend, this might look alright from far away, but it won't hold up for a close shot. If you were to do a close shot, it depends again what you want to do with this model and where do you want to focus best. And if this model is more like, oh, I want to have everything perfect, then man, we have to make everything perfect. So add some more edges to the toes so that they can bend beautifully and they would hold up a shot like this far away from this angle or this angle, whatever. So one more here, one more there, and similar stuff to do what you did with the fingers. There we go. Oh, and maybe one more thing. You may want to keep this edging here, maybe not close it up down here, but maybe up here or there, so that you can do some cool stuff with the metatarsals, with the metatarsal bones that come up here and they like show up and do some cool underneath skin sliding stuff when you move the toes. That might be worth getting in the topology for that. Okay, then let's, I think that was it here. Maybe this guy needs a little reshape. This one looks quite alright, but this maybe a little bit too big. Okay, then here on the legs, I had a point to mention where you had like, you can see how like we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 edges going from this angle. But if I see this angle, we just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges. And you would want, especially in this area here, maybe 1 or 2 extra edges that we might be able to, you know, like redirect so that this resolution here gets a little bit more evened out towards this area, so that you can get this nice dip in from this muscle onto the bone. So that's one more thing worth to mention. Then I wasn't quite sure about this resolution down here, up here, but to me it looks alright. I mean, it looks like you modeled the legs quite on an anatomical reference. So you get this in between edge here to do some muscle flexing stuff. You got the same stuff going on here to do, because you know the legs are like this. So this is the, I forgot this muscle name, but it's here. You can do some stuff with this. It looks quite okay. Maybe just a little bit unclean edge positions where, you know, like the edge flow is not being very nice. But yeah, that's not too much of work to get this fixed. Alright, then there was an interesting stuff going on here. Private parts. Wow. Big pole here. This is like a V, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an overkill. You can fix this by a lot of ways. So I would let's see, this and that. Maybe close this there. Then you got a 5-sider here, but I don't know, if you want to do stuff with this butthole, maybe it's worth adding a little bit more resolution. So let's go for an extra edge. Bam. And now you close this. Obviously you have to, you know, move this to the other side, but that's like for free. So that was that. Now you get this here. And then we could do the same stuff on this side, because you know this is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we want to get it at at maximum of 5. As soon as you get something above 5, you can start to split it up and make it lower. So we can do, the same stuff here. We just take this edge, remove it, then let's split it, and alright, yeah, so we put it down there, and now we still have a 5-sider and another 5-sider here, which means we can, cancel stuff out. Let's, for that, move this guy down here. I don't know, this is a little bit tricky maybe. Let's go for this. Put it there. Maybe we could just drive them all the way up to like here, close them up like that. So because these faces here like are quite big. I mean, the butt cheeks don't do too much, but it doesn't hurt to have a little bit more resolution in here as well. So it might be worth like just driving these guys over here and maybe like cancel them out on this area here, where you have this small dip in, and you could like support that type of geometry with this. So that's one thing worth trying. And then you get rid of this V8 edge pole, which is like sacre bleu, Okay. What was that? Apart from that, stuff looks alright. I like it. Maybe you can. I don't know if this is an overkill. You might be just safe closing this like that, and then dipping this one vert that would be here down. And then in the smooth preview, you can like sharpen up the dipping in a little bit more. But yeah, just a point there. The belly button. Here was an issue. Oh, I was playing around with this model already. Let me just open a new scene, re-import this guy. Okay. It was 8.44. Transformations. Okay. There we go. So yeah, there was a thing here going on at the belly button where you had an edge, a single polygon, a single vertex pushing out like that, thus creating this weird type stuff. And I don't know if there's any reason why a real human belly button would kind of do this. I would push it back like I did on your first model, to like this being here, and then you got this shape, which could make a little bit more sense. You still got the dipping in from the low to the top. You can keep doing this. By the way, these are triangles, but in this case they might be right. No one cares about these. And yeah, then if you want to bend this model, like, I don't know, like she was reaching something on the floor while keeping the legs for rather straight, stuff would, I don't know, it might be worth adding like 1, 2 edges, maybe here, I don't know, maybe 2 edges overall on the belly. It doesn't hurt to have a lot here, but it definitely does hurt to have 2 little edges here. So it might be worth just adding one. Maybe you can like add one here, one there, and then close them up here, or close them up there, wherever like a big muscle edge is, where you can like support that. So that's a point there. Then on the boobs look okay. One thing, you've got an extra edge here which is kind of disturbing. You know, this one right here that like closes out there. I don't like that. So it might be worth, I mean, the same, you've got the same stuff here. And for a boobs this size, it might be okay to remove one edge like this and make this topology be a little bit cleaner. That's a point there. You can also leave it, but the thing is, this three-edged vert on exactly that point might be, you might end up fighting against it with, if you ever end up skinning the boobs in a way, you know, like how I do. So maybe worth keeping this like how you call this, like this cleavage area rather clean in topology, to have a clean cleavage if you want to do that. What's the next thing? What's that? Alright, let's get to the arms. I would change this. This is like, because you know, you have like one edge right here that is going to support whatever the arm bending is going to do. So I really encourage you to add more edges in here. Do it carefully. You just don't want to, you know, subdivide like this edge and be like, bam, there's my edge, there you go, bitch. No, you want to like try and find out a way how you can split up this connection point so that you get a loop around this area, or maybe around this area, it doesn't really matter, but you want to have something where you can add loops in a non-destructive way, because if you do it here it would be like kind of a destructive way, because you would end up adding stuff here where you would probably not want to, or the other way around, if I add an edge here, it does this, where it edges the edge all over the place. We don't want that. So it's definitely worth taking out this area, maybe redesigning the topology here. And you might then end up changing this area as well, which would be good because, you know, these edges are quite shifted. So if you imagine the arm as a cylinder, these edges will run like a very weird angle compared to that, and you might end up again fighting against your topology when it comes to the twist distribution along the arm, because you then could not like pick up clean edge rings and assign them to twist joints. You would have to like interpolate and do manual skin weighting and, you know, fight against your model, and we don't want to fight against the model, we want to work with it. So maybe change stuff here a little bit. I know you wanted to, you know, get the insertion points of the delt muscles into the arm, which looks quite okay. This edge is cool, you know, you get this stuff going on, but you can do it a little bit different. At least you can do it in a way where you can preserve the perpendicular angling of the edges to the arm direction. So that's a thing might worth trying. Also, I would maybe add another extra edge here, like that. And you are safe to do that. You may want to like redistribute resolutions here, so we have a little bit too much going on here, not too much going on there, so you might want to like shift things around until it gets like evenly distributed again here too, so that you have a little bit more resolution up here, which you don't really need, because if you were to put the arm like up in the angle, you don't want to have too much going on here, but the shoulder is again an area that really moves a lot, and it'll hurt you more to have not enough edges than too much. So better add one more than have not enough. Okay, then let's keep on going further down the arm. On the forearm, I feel like you really want to have one here extra edge, one there extra edge, and one there extra edge, because you know these faces are quite stretched, and that won't do good when you twist the forearm. The more edges you have there, the better will be the volume preservation on twist. So yeah, put those in. On the hands, if we go in smooth preview, to be really honest, I don't like the knuckle shapes here. I think it's too much. It doesn't look good. Also on the fingers, it looks like there's like some sort of implant right below the skin. I don't know, like she just inserted a quarter down her finger skin, you know. And on the knuckles, it looks, I don't know, like a really swollen up mosquito bite. Might be worth just removing all of this stuff completely, also here, and keeping the fingers rather simple. I think especially on, you know, on female characters, the more smooth and simple stuff is, the better it will look. Except you really are into this kind of stuff, then I didn't say something. But I don't know. To be honest, these hands look like from an old witch kind of character, but the rest doesn't. So it's like a little bit controversial here. So yeah, just remove this, make it smooth again, not too much. The lower side looks good. This areas here, also this, quite cool. Maybe these bends are quite sharp. They might do problems when you close the hand, but again, you wouldn't see it then, so maybe you're right. But I don't know, taking a look at my hand, I don't have that sharp of a bend here, so it might be okay if you soften this area up a little bit. But this might be just personal. I don't know how to what reference you model this hand. But yeah, apart from that, it looks good. I don't like long fingernails, but that's just me. You might as well keep them because it looks really cool. I mean, it looks like you've got the way to get this cool done. I always model them separately, which is, I think, just my way. It's not really necessary. Apart from that, it's alright. The metacarpals going on here. So you've got these edges, you know, where you can again play with the metacarpal bones, doing stuff underneath the skin when you move the fingers. So that's a cool way to go. And again, just noticing poles. Pole. Everywhere is the poles. Again, this is the fault of these weird knuckles, so I think if you just remove these, you're gonna fix these poles automatically. So do that. It's gonna do a good job on your model. Okay, that was the hands. Then let's go back to the upper arm and chest area. I wanna see if you can fix about these pinchings. This is probably just the one vertex here on the triangle that is too far away, so if you move this back into the thing, might be alright. You need to really take care as soon as you get like a vert with just 3 edges connecting, it'll create a pinched look really quickly. So if that guy doesn't sit mathematically perfect in its spot, it'll always create some sort of weird pinchy look. So you really want to keep where you put these guys. And obviously you cannot avoid them. But just to let you know that you cannot avoid them, but you can place them on areas where they make sense. So that's worth taking a look at. Then on the clavicle. I don't know, maybe you could add an extra edge here to define the clavicle more. Maybe not on, it looks cool like this. I like it. It's not too much going on here. That's cool. But in certain poses, you may want to trigger some correctives, get some dynamic skin going on, and you might want to have a little bit more resolution here to play with the clavicles, because there are poses, where the bones like push forward and the skin underneath like really dips down, and it like really shows the bone off. It's really interesting and worth playing it when you do like certain animations. Then you got the sternocleidomastoid muscle going on, cool. The edges are where they like need to be. But again, imagine you were like rotating the head to the side by 90 degrees so that this area gets like here, and then you have to like get the rig done for a muscle flex. You will have problems because there's not enough edges. So you will have to dip in this edge, and then you lose this volume. So you really want to have at least one more edge on this side of the sternocleidomastoid muscle, and here it might be alright. It might be worth adding an extra edge, but you might also want to test stuff out. Subdivide the model, do your rigging, check out, and if not, just edit afterwards. I mean, you've got the model, you've got the skinnings, you've got the rigs. It might not be too much of a pain to do a model update later. It depends on just about what do you consider a bigger pain. Not having a perfect deformation going on here, or just update your model to get that. So that was that. Then on the face, man, I don't know what to say. It's like, just redo the face. I would redo the face. So let's try and focus on stuff here. All of this stuff, it looks like like lettuce salad edges. You've got this stuff going on here. We've got like two quads sharing just four edges on the boundary. So we've got like stuff here in between, which doesn't make a sense at all. Also, we've got this inner edge from this quad with a lot more than 180 degrees, and this will hurt you a lot. I could not imagine how you could rig this face to look good. I mean, it doesn't look good even on the by default. So if I smooth this, you've got all of these weird shadowings going on, and I would really encourage you to like take a look at this loopings around the mouth. The lips look good. I like the lips. Maybe it's worth creating a little bit of an overshoot from the upper lip, maybe pushing the lower lip a little bit further back, because that over, so in German we call this Überbiss, the overbite. It's something that looks cute on women, and I would try and get that done, because having the lips like perfectly aligned to each other vertically, I don't know, it just doesn't appeal. So that's that. Then on the nose, you've got some weird topology going on here. I would try and redo at least this area of the nose as well. Get the nostrils a little bit better in. And then here's like the part where I see like, because this is not the same as this, it looks kind of different. And so try and make the model, get one side done and then mirror it, that. And then here, a big thing, this model is not symmetrical because of this, because the symmetry edge is broken. So I would not do this. I would try and always keep a symmetry edge going. And you might find that it's not like something of a big deal, but as soon as you work like with more advanced tools and scripts and stuff, as soon as the algorithm for topology based mirroring finds this, it'll for sure screw up. and so that's something worth fixing. Um, yeah, maybe the eyes. I don't know if there's too much edges going on here. Might be worth like splitting them up, getting them a little bit more distributed towards down here, because you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, something here, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this entire distance. So you've got like the same edges, the same number of edges for this short distance as for this really long distance. So just evening them up, distributing them correctly, might do a good thing. Uh, then, compared to the rest of the model, I don't know if this is just one of these guys too much here. Again, it's better to have too much than not too much. So it might be alright depending on what you want to do, but yeah, maybe keep it, maybe not. It doesn't hurt to have it there. It just like really comes forward to my eye, seeing that much edges going on here, and compared to the rest of the body, it's like there's all the focus on this area. But again, it might be cool for some wrinkling stuff when you do the eyebrow rise or whatever. So could be there. Yeah, I think that was it from what I see like in this short time. Uh, Again, I really like the shape of the model. You got stuff done right. So especially from this angle, this area looks really good. I like it. It's pretty good. But then watching down here again, you get some shadowing because the irregularities of the mesh, because of you've got too much stuff going on here. So it might be worth just smoothing this area out a little bit more. Oh fucking hell. Then here you've got a strange sharp dip that is like looks like a mistake because the rest of the model is quite smooth. So it might be worth just smoothing this bit out as well. And I really like these back parts. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but this looks quite cool. You've got this done right. I like it. And I don't know, maybe on the butt cheeks you could. So where we was fixing this pole and driving more edges here, it might be good because you can sharpen this area of the gluteus muscle hanging over this piece, so you get a sharper butt cheek thingy going on, which could be cool. And yeah, I think that's it. It's pretty good work, or to be honest, I like it. And I don't know how much of a modeling past you had, but this definitely looks like going into the right direction. Looks like you already have some experience in this, and I just at least what shaping, and I mean the shapes are really good. But again, topology needs some work, but you're getting there. And I'm getting close to the 50 minutes mark, so I will probably just quit this video now and wish you a good time. Have fun addressing all of my feedback or not. It's your decision. And see you next time. Bye bye.